Ladies and gentlemen, here's a compelling and powerful introduction for your motivational speech titled, God Said 4 Powerful Things to Tell Yourself Every Morning. Inspired by the wisdom and presence of Shi Heng Yi, every morning is a new beginning, a sacred opportunity to reset, to realign, and reconnect with the divine power that flows through us. In a world full of chaos, noise, and endless distractions, we often forget the simple, eternal truths that God has already placed within us. But what if before the world wakes up, you whispered 4 divine truths to yourself that could transform your entire day? What if those words came not from the world, but from the voice of God speaking into your soul? Today, inspired by the wisdom of Shi Heng Yi, we return to spiritual basics, back to the source, back to inner stillness, and back to purpose. This is not just about motivation. This is about divine remembrance. These are the 4 powerful things God said that you must speak to your soul every single morning, before the doubts come, before the world speaks, before fear steals your peace. Because when the mind aligns with spirit, and the spirit surrenders to truth, nothing on earth can stop the power of a human being who knows who they are. Let these words awaken the warrior within you, the one who walks not by sight, but by faith. When you open your eyes in the morning, the first thing you need to remind yourself is that you are not alone. This truth is not just spiritual comfort. It is a foundational reality that shapes how you walk through the world. From the moment you take your first breath in the morning, there is a divine presence walking beside you, watching over you, moving through the moments that seem ordinary and those that feel overwhelming. Many people wake up feeling anxious, lost, or burdened by yesterday's mistakes or tomorrow's uncertainties. But if you start your day grounded in the truth that God is with you, your mindset shifts from fear to faith. This isn't about blind belief. It's about recognizing a deep spiritual force that never leaves you even when you feel forgotten by the world. It's easy to forget this in the chaos of life. We often mistake God's silence for absence. We confuse quiet seasons for abandonment, but faith reminds us that God is often most present when we feel Him the least. Just because He's not loud doesn't mean He's not near. Just because the path is dark doesn't mean you're walking it alone. Every single step, every breath, every struggle is witnessed by the one who formed you. When storms rise in life, and they always do, people naturally look around for something or someone to hold on to. But the truth is, the strength you're searching for is already within reach. It comes from knowing that even when people fail you, when circumstances shake you, when your own strength runs out, God does not walk away. He's the silent strength beneath your weakness, the invisible anchor beneath your chaos. When you feel the weight of responsibilities crushing you, remember you were never meant to carry it all by yourself. There is a supernatural partnership that exists between you and your Creator. You may feel like you're walking into your day alone, facing meetings, deadlines, disappointments, or emotional valleys. But if you open your spiritual eyes, you'll see that God has already gone ahead of you. He has prepared what you fear. He has softened what you're dreading. He has strengthened what you think will break you. He's not just watching from above. He is walking right beside you, step by step. This is why morning is sacred. Before the phone calls, the distractions, the noise of the world, you must take time to reconnect with the quiet voice that whispers, "I am with you." That voice calms the storm inside long before the world tries to storm your peace. This is not about positive thinking. This is about divine awareness. Because when your heart is aware that you're not walking through this life alone, your confidence returns, your courage rises, and your spirit awakens. There is a peace that only comes from presence, not the presence of things, but the presence of God. The moment you accept this truth, your entire perspective begins to shift. The burden of trying to control everything lifts. The pressure to have all the answers fades. You begin to understand that your job is not to be perfect. Your job is to walk faithfully, knowing that someone far greater is guiding your path. Even in moments of weakness, your worth does not disappear, because God's companionship is not based on your performance. It's based on His promise. Think about the times you felt broken or lost, but somehow kept moving. That wasn't coincidence. That was divine companionship. That was God standing beside you when no one else did, holding your spirit up when you couldn't hold yourself together. That same God is with you today. Whether you're facing sickness, financial strain, betrayal, fear, or uncertainty, you are not facing it alone. The Creator of the universe is closer than the breath in your lungs. This is not wishful thinking. It's spiritual truth backed by centuries of promise, scripture, and personal encounters across every culture and time. The reason so many people burn out, break down, or lose hope is not because God left them, but because they forgot to acknowledge His nearness. That's why every morning, before anything else, you need to speak this truth to yourself out loud. I am not alone. God is with me. His strength is my strength. His presence is my peace. His plan is unfolding even when I don't understand it. This kind of declaration realigns your mind, body, and soul with the eternal presence that never wavers. You are enough. These 3 words carry the weight of divine truth that can shatter years of self-doubt, insecurity, and fear. Every morning, before the world tries to define your worth based on appearance, performance, or approval, you must remind yourself that your value is not negotiable. It's not up for debate. It was established the moment you were created. You were not formed by accident or assembled by chance. You were intentionally designed by God with purpose, with care, and with deep love. When you wake up and speak these words over yourself, you're not just making a statement. You're aligning with the truth that heaven already knows about you. In a world that constantly tells you you're not doing enough, not achieving enough, not becoming enough, these words push back against the pressure and remind you of your divine origin. Being enough doesn't mean being perfect. It means you are whole in your essence, exactly as you are in this moment. It means that even with your flaws, even with your mistakes, even with the things you're still healing from, you are still valuable, still chosen, still seen. Society will always give you a checklist: more degrees, more money, more followers, more approval. But God never required those things to call you His. From the moment He breathed life into you, He called you good. Not because of what you do, but because of who you are, and who you are is enough. This is a truth that needs to be declared before the world tries to make you forget it. Every morning, before social media, before comparison, before criticism, say it again and again: I am enough. Because if you don't define yourself in the light of divine truth, the world will try to define you through fear and falsehoods. There is a sacred power that rises within you when you stop trying to earn love and start walking in it. You are not made to strive endlessly for approval. You were made to live freely in the truth of who you are. God did not create you with half a purpose or a missing piece. You are not lacking the essential elements you need to fulfill your calling. You already carry within you everything necessary to walk boldly through life. The gifts, the passions, the insights, even the pain. They are all part of the masterpiece. What's missing is not more of you, but more belief in what's already there. And that belief begins each morning when you choose to look in the mirror, not through the lens of criticism, but through the lens of spiritual identity. You are not defined by what you've done wrong. You are defined by who God says you are, and He says you are His. You are enough, not because you've achieved everything, but because you are aligned with the one who has already declared your worth. Even on your weakest days, you are enough. Even when you fall short, you are enough. Your struggles do not cancel your value. Your imperfections do not invalidate your purpose. If God believed you were worthy of life, worthy of grace, worthy of calling, who are you to say otherwise? The enemy's greatest weapon is to convince you that you are not worthy. But every time you affirm that you are enough, you disarm that lie and reclaim the authority God gave you when you say, I am enough. You silence the inner critic. You silence the voice that says you're behind, that you're too broken, that you'll never measure up. Those voices are not from God. His voice speaks life, speaks truth, speaks love. It reminds you that you are not lacking. You are learning, you are growing, you are unfolding into the person God already sees when He looks at you. So the next time you feel unworthy, pause, breathe, speak the truth, because nothing can take away the fact that you were created on purpose, with purpose. You are not a mistake. You are not too late. You are not too much. You are exactly who you need to be in this moment. And that truth is more than enough. You have power. Not the kind the world often celebrates, loud, boastful, or based on control, but a deeper, more unshakable power that comes from within. It's the kind of power that God placed inside of you before you ever spoke your first word. When you wake up in the morning and tell yourself, I have power, you are not pretending or trying to motivate yourself through empty affirmations. You are speaking a spiritual reality that most people have forgotten. This power is not about dominating others or forcing outcomes. It's about recognizing the divine force that lives within you, the strength that rises when you feel weak, the courage that whispers when fear screams, the resilience that shows up when life tries to knock you down. You are not powerless in your circumstances. You are not a victim of your environment. The power that raised Christ from the dead is the same power that now lives in you, and that truth changes everything. Every morning brings new challenges, new pressures, and sometimes new pain. But when you begin your day by reminding yourself of the power within, you step into life differently, you speak differently, you walk differently, because you're not walking into your day with just human strength. You're walking with divine backing. The world might tell you that you need more credentials, more approval, more experience to be powerful, but God's power doesn't require permission. It doesn't wait for validation. It doesn't check your bank account, your past, or your social status. It flows from your connection to Him, and that connection is unbreakable. The problem is not that we lack power, it's that we forget we have it. We get distracted by opinions, overwhelmed by pressure, and numbed by routine. But buried beneath all that noise is a holy fire that refuses to be extinguished. That power shows up in quiet ways. It's in your ability to forgive when bitterness feels easier. It's in your decision to keep going when quitting feels more logical. It's in your capacity to love, to speak truth, to hold peace in the middle of conflict. Power isn't always dramatic. It's deeply spiritual. It's the inner authority to stand firm when everything around you is unstable. It's the boldness to believe that something greater is at work, even when you can't see it. This power doesn't come from trying harder. It comes from surrendering deeper, from aligning with the spirit inside you that has already overcome the world. That's why you can't afford to start your day thinking you are weak, unworthy, or incapable. Because when you do, you are living beneath your inheritance. You have the power to shift atmospheres with your presence, to break generational cycles with your decisions, to speak life where others speak death. This is not ego, it's identity. God never designed you to walk through life in survival mode. You were made to carry authority, to walk in truth, to radiate light in dark places. But you have to choose to activate that power. It doesn't just show up when you feel strong. It shows up when you believe it's there even in your weakness. That's why beginning your day with this truth is essential. You are not just trying to make it through the day. You are here to influence it, to lead it, to shift it. and that requires you to rise in the knowledge that you are empowered by something much greater than yourself. You don't have to feel powerful to be powerful. You simply need to remember where your power comes from. It's not rooted in how confident you feel, but in the God who designed you with strength in your spirit. When you begin to live in that truth, fear loses its grip. Doubt loses its volume. Insecurity loses its place. Because you are no longer waiting for power to come to you. You are walking in the power that's already yours. So when you step into your day, let your spirit rise first. Let your voice declare what heaven already knows. I have power. I have strength beyond what I see. I carry authority that no one can steal. This is how warriors think. This is how change begins. This is how transformations start. It's not with a change of circumstance, but with a change of awareness. You are forgiven. These words carry the weight of freedom that many spend their entire lives searching for. Each morning, as the sun rises and the world begins again, you are given a spiritual reset, a chance to step into grace that is new, unearned, and overflowing. It doesn't matter how far you've fallen, how many mistakes you've made, or how long you've carried guilt. God's forgiveness is not limited by your past. It is anchored in His love, not your performance. When you wake up and say to yourself, I am forgiven, you're not denying your faults. You're declaring your freedom. You're choosing not to be defined by shame. You're aligning with the truth that your identity is not found in your failures, but in your faith. So many people wake up burdened by regret, haunted by yesterday, stuck in cycles of self-condemnation, unsure if they'll ever be clean or worthy enough to move forward. But the truth is, God never asked you to carry the weight of your sin. He already carried it for you. He didn't create you to live in guilt. He created you to walk in grace. Forgiveness is not about forgetting what happened. It's about releasing the power it holds over you. It's about stepping into the mercy that says, yes, that happened, but that's not who you are anymore. Every morning you have a choice to relive your pain or to reclaim your peace. When you choose to declare forgiveness over yourself, you choose life, healing, and restoration. God's forgiveness is not a one-time offer. It's a daily invitation. It doesn't expire with your latest failure. It flows endlessly because His love is endless. Many believe they must earn their way back into God's favor, but grace doesn't work like that. It's not a reward, it's a gift that you are invited to receive the moment you open your eyes. You may still remember your past, but God no longer holds it against you. That's the power of divine forgiveness. It sees your sin and still calls you clean. It knows your weakness and still chooses you. And when you embrace that kind of love, you begin to live differently. You stop hiding. You stop pretending. You stop running from yourself. You start living with the quiet confidence of someone who knows they are seen, known, and still completely loved. That's why speaking forgiveness over yourself is so important every morning. Because the enemy will always try to remind you of what you did. He'll whisper shame into your soul, hoping you'll stay stuck in self-doubt. But when you counter that voice with truth, when you declare that you are forgiven, you take back your mind, your heart, your day. You silence the accusations and awaken the awareness that God's mercy has already made you new. Forgiveness is not about ignoring consequences or pretending nothing happened. It's about recognizing that even in your darkest hour, God saw you and He still chose you. He still believed in your purpose. He still held your future in His hands. You don't have to carry yesterday's weight into today. Every sunrise is proof that grace is still chasing you. You may feel broken, but forgiveness says you are being made whole. You may feel unworthy, but forgiveness says you are chosen. This is not about escaping accountability. It's about walking in redemption. Because when you accept that you are forgiven, you begin to live in the light instead of the shadows. You start making decisions from a place of love rather than fear. You begin to dream again, hope again, breathe again, and you give others the permission to do the same. This is the kind of forgiveness that transforms lives, not just because it removes guilt, but because it restores identity. You stop seeing yourself through the lens of your wounds and start seeing yourself through the lens of your worth. You are not damaged. You are not disqualified. You are not beyond redemption. You are forgiven, and that truth is more powerful than any lie you've believed about yourself. You are becoming. Every single day, whether you realize it or not, you are in the process of transformation. Life is not a finished product, and neither are you. You are evolving, growing, unfolding into the person you were always meant to be. When you wake up in the morning and remind yourself of this truth, you remove the pressure to have it all figured out. You silence the lie that says you have to be perfect today in order to be valuable. Instead, you begin to embrace the journey. God did not create you to be stagnant. He created you to move, to grow, to stretch, to rise through every season. The pain you're facing, the challenges you're navigating, the doubts you're wrestling with, they are not signs that you're failing. They are proof that you're becoming. Every trial is molding your character. Every heartbreak is deepening your compassion. Every closed door is redirecting your path. You are being shaped in ways you may not see yet, and that shaping is sacred. God is not finished with you. His work in you is not incomplete because of your past or paused because of your fears. He is constantly forming something beautiful out of your process. That's why you must begin your day by speaking this truth over your life. I am becoming. Because when you understand that you are in progress, you give yourself permission to be human. You stop demanding perfection from yourself and instead focus on progress. You begin to walk in patience instead of pressure. There is beauty in the becoming, even when it feels messy, even when it feels uncertain. The world often celebrates the destination, the achievements, the success, the polished outcome, but God treasures the process. It is in the hidden moments, in the private struggles, in the silent battles that the deepest growth occurs. You may not see the fruit yet, but the roots are growing. You may not feel strong yet, but your endurance is increasing. Just because transformation isn't visible doesn't mean it isn't happening. You are becoming wiser. You are becoming more disciplined. You are becoming more loving, more peaceful, more resilient. Each morning you rise. You step into a new layer of your identity, not by force, but by faith. God doesn't rush your process, and you shouldn't either. Your journey is your own. Stop comparing your becoming to someone else's highlight reel. What God is doing in you is custom built. He knows your timing, your rhythm, your struggles, and He is shaping you in ways uniquely designed for your calling. This is why you must not judge yourself too harshly when progress feels slow. Growth is often silent. Breakthrough is often born in stillness. The seeds planted in one season bloom in another, but the becoming is constant. It is happening even in your waiting. You are becoming more aware of your purpose. You are shedding old beliefs that no longer serve your spirit. You are rising above patterns that once held you down. This is the work of becoming, not loud, not always seen, but undeniably powerful. You are not the same person you were last year, last month, or even yesterday. You are changing, and that change is divine. When you wake up and affirm this truth, you remind your spirit that setbacks are not signs of failure. They're part of formation. Detours are not denials. They're divine redirections. Delays are not rejections. They are seasons of refining. You are becoming more than you realize. This truth should breathe life into your morning. Because no matter what you face today, no matter what didn't go right yesterday, God is still working in you. The clay doesn't question the potter. It simply surrenders to the hands that mold it. So must you. Trust the process, honor the growth, respect the journey. Even when it feels slow, even when it's hard to see, the transformation is real. You are becoming everything God intended for you to be. not in a single moment, but in every moment you choose to keep going, to keep believing, to keep showing up. You must speak truth. Every morning, as you rise to face a world filled with distraction, pressure, and noise, your voice becomes one of your most powerful weapons. What you speak over yourself has the power to shape how you think, feel, and live. It's not just a habit, it's a spiritual act of alignment. Your words are not empty, they carry life or death, peace or chaos, clarity or confusion. God designed you with the ability to create with your words, just as He created the universe with His. When you speak truth, you're not just affirming something positive, you're commanding your soul to remember what heaven already knows. You're reminding your spirit who you are, who God is, and what is eternally real. No matter what the world tries to convince you, each morning is a battlefield of belief. Before the world speaks, before doubt creeps in, before fear takes root, you must speak truth out loud. You must say what is right, not just what you feel. Feelings change, but truth remains. And the truth is that you are chosen, you are loved, you are equipped, and you are not alone. If you don't speak truth, the lies will speak for you. The lies of not being enough, the lies of past failures, the lies of fear and rejection. If you don't fill your mind with truth, the world will fill it with noise. That's why it matters what comes out of your mouth in those first sacred minutes of your day. Truth is not just an idea. It is a spiritual weapon. When you declare truth, you silence the voice of fear. When you speak truth, you drive out confusion. When you lift your voice and declare who you are and who your God is, you step into alignment with heaven's reality, not the world's illusion. You cannot wait for peace to find you. You must speak peace into your atmosphere. You cannot wait for confidence to come. You must speak it until it shows up. This is not pretending, it is proclaiming. It is reclaiming your authority and standing firm in your identity. Even when your circumstances don't yet match your declaration, the reason many people feel powerless is not because they lack faith, but because they've stopped speaking it. Silence leaves space for fear to grow. But when you speak truth, even if your voice shakes, you take back territory the enemy tried to steal. You take back your mindset, your peace, your purpose. There is power in declaring that you are not defined by your past. There is power in proclaiming that no weapon formed against you will prosper. There is power in saying, I have everything I need today. These are not just nice words. They are divine reminders that awaken your spirit and rewire your thoughts. Speaking truth is also how you resist the temptation to drift into anxiety, drift into comparison, drift into bitterness. Your words become your anchor. Your voice becomes the compass that steers your soul back toward purpose. That's why God gave you the power to speak, not just to communicate with others, but to speak life into yourself. Every time you declare truth, you are planting seeds that will grow strength, resilience, and clarity throughout your day. You are setting the tone for how you respond to challenges. You are training your spirit to lead instead of follow. You are deciding that your day will not be dictated by moods or external chaos, but by the unshakable truth that God is for you and working through you. Truth is not always easy to say. Sometimes it feels foreign. Sometimes it feels forced, but that's why it's called a discipline. It's something you do not because it always feels good, but because it builds something good inside of you. It carves out space for peace to grow, for fear to shrink, and for hope to rise. Each morning, you have a divine opportunity to activate your voice, not in reaction to your circumstances, but in preparation for your purpose. Your words are your first spiritual decision of the day. Choose to speak truth even when it's hard. Choose to speak life even when you feel dry. Choose to align your words with what God says, not what the world says.